I applied to the DreamWorks Story trainee program 3 times before I finally made it in. After my first CTN Expo in 2016, which is like this big animation expo they hold in California every year, I said to myself that I would spend 1 year grinding solely on a portfolio for feature animation. And on my 3rd attempt, after almost a year of grinding, I got accepted. I've been working at DreamWorks as a storyboard artist for almost 7 years now. And I wanted to walk through all those attempts, all those portfolios that I did throughout the years that I used to apply for the DreamWorks trainee program, and show you guys the portfolio that did get me into the studio, and hopefully some stuff to learn when you're doing your own feature story portfolio. Okay, so let's see this first one here. This was one I did in, I think, 2015, my 3rd year of college. And I did this one about my friend Andres, like getting a nosebleed running through the forest and how people would think he looked like a monster. And I remember liking it when I did it, but honestly, I haven't really looked at it for years now. I haven't really thought about this one for years now. Even when I looked at stuff to show for this video, I forgot that I did this completely. So let's kind of take a look. It starts in this forest, which right away, there's no establishing shot. It just kind of starts in a mid shot of a forest with like a really high horizon line, which isn't great. Let's take a look at this. I'm just gonna flip through this again for almost the first time with you guys. So here he is walking down. A bunny walks by. So much tone everywhere. This needs to be like very highly simplified. Like everything has a cast shadow. There's whites and darks going everywhere. Like it's not very clear. I don't know why I toned each of his body parts separately instead of just giving him like a flat gray with white eyes. That was weird, but let's keep moving. The bunny runs past him. He gives a nice little wave to show that he's like a jovial, fun guy. Keeps going all smiley. That was a pretty jarring cut because I didn't make this pose go off screen. So what I should have done, I should have made him go off screen and then have him like either this or have him enter here, because this is kind of like a weird jump cut that I did. And again, the tone going everywhere right now. So the first thing I would do is like just take the horizon line and bring it all the way down to like the bottom quarter of the screen there, because right now it's really high. It's really weird. It's hard to see the silhouette or like read this river clearly. I don't know why the river is the only thing I didn't tone for whatever reason. If I also do it again, I would definitely tone it. He sees that he can't cross. There's a lily pad, I think, in the river, so he hops on the lily pad, which doesn't really make sense, but hey, anything to get the story moving. And I guess it is more whimsical if it's a lily pad and not like a boulder or something. Or I guess he could have just hopped over it. I don't know why. Again, jump cut. I don't know why I was afraid of making him go off screen there, but I was. The nosebleed starts. It's pretty readable. Oh God. Shoots out again. You know, I definitely pushed the designs, which is good on me. And then we cut straight to him running. Not super clear, but it's kind of a funny jump cut. He runs. His pants start falling down. This was part of his story. And then rolls down, lands face first, more blood going everywhere. He looks up. He's covered in blood, no pants. Looks up and there's families and kids and they scream and they look back and he's like a werewolf. And they all run away. Definitely should have drawn them running away instead of just cutting to a single shot of them just mid-run. That's not very clear, but... And then him screaming. Alright, there's a lot to think about here, and I'm glad that any studio took me at this point. I did apply with some nicer stuff. This was just kind of like a throwaway one that I used. I did have a 30-year film and stuff that I used to apply that I did with a group of people. But yeah, there's a lot of problems with this. I think it was a good effort, like it was a good learning experience for me and good like drawing practice. Definitely drawing wasn't the main issue here. I think it was shot selection, it was high horizon lines. I wasn't really doing a wide variety of shots. I think I would definitely go with like a better variety of shots if I was to redo it. Maybe like while the character is running, I would do an up shot or like a, you know, far down shot of him running. Something to bring variety into this. Maybe, you know, there's some animals in the trees, like looking at him as he's running through the forest. Bring some visual interest other than just he runs and falls, which is kind of all it is. It was a funny story, but I don't know why I just did his story with some like mild visual gags added. If I did this again, I would I would embellish way more. Because this is just a thing that happened to a guy. So yeah, the first one, I see why I wasn't accepted. I won't fault them for that, you know? I definitely could have done a little bit better. It wasn't bad. I think it works. It definitely works. It works. And that's the best I can say about it. A lot of times storyboards don't even work. So the fact that this worked is a miracle. It's like my first one. All right, so this next one I did in 2016, which was my graduating year of Sheridan College. And this I did alongside my film. I think I did this specifically for one of the internships. I think it might have been Pixar or DreamWorks. I can't really remember, but I did this one and I did it really quick. So this is when I started like doing these splash covers because I saw a bunch of people do them. You know, I added my thumbnails, added some drawings of the character, which honestly right now I probably wouldn't have added just sketches of the character. Probably would do more story moments similar to this mirror one. This one's still pretty cute. I think this holds up. You know, maybe the neck's a little long. I think this was my business card actually. I think I liked this drawing a lot back then. So yeah, this one was called Mirror Friend. And at this point I set it up in like this paneled version, which honestly I wouldn't recommend now that everything's on a website. At the time I just had like a book at my like portfolio day or whatever. Yeah, definitely don't submit it like this. Submit it as like a flip through online. And let's go to the panel because I don't want to look at it in this format. All right, so let's go to like a more readable version of this instead of those like paneled out pages, which is a nightmare to look at. I don't know how anyone did that. I'm sorry to anyone who had to look at that when I submitted it. My bad. All right, so I don't know why I left this big black area at the bottom. Maybe I thought that was cinematic or something. Right off the get-go, definitely too much tone here. Definitely did too much. I definitely should have focused more on the drawing aspect unless I'm just toning it nicely. I added like blooms in this shot. I don't really know why, but hey, it's an establishing shot. So maybe it doesn't continue. I mean, it does continue. It does. It's way too over-rendered. If it was right now, I would keep it super simple. Maybe just 1 or 2 layers of tone. You know, maybe just a flat gray for the parrot, white in the eye. Because right now it's, you know, there's way too much going on in the background. There's too much like sheen on the window. I added a bloom again. There's like a glow to everything, which wasn't the smartest idea, but when you don't really know what you're doing, you look for ways to kind of fill in gaps. So at the time, the way I filled in gaps is to make stuff look pretty, which I don't think it looks that pretty now. I mean, it looks kind of nice, but like, I don't think it really looks like a nice storyboard, which right now I look for different things when I look for nice storyboards, like simplicity. So I'll definitely go way simpler on this. Now looks behind him. There's 2 geckos hugging. He's all sad. Looks down, there's 2 cats hugging. This, I clearly found some reference of 2 cats, and I didn't want to pose it out more, because this is a singular shot. And maybe I should have focused a little more on the cage or how the room looks, because anything past that window, I did not know how to do. So, research stuff. Don't make it in the corner of the room. Make it, you know, put it closer to the middle. You know, leaning more towards that side, of course, but keep it in the middle, you know. He's still sad. He's even sadder. Little parakeet behind him. This was a weird cut, but kind of works. Looks over. There was probably some panel here missing. I'm sure of it. I didn't do this on purpose. There's simply no way I did that on purpose. Looks back. He's all happy. They look at him. They fly away. Going forward, I would definitely add expressions on those birds there. Yeah, because this, you know, give them something. Fly away. Looks back sad. There's a character walking through. Now, at the time, I thought I was smart, and I was kind of like, this character's gonna come back later, so I'll introduce her now. However, she's the only character on the screen, and look at her, like, Whoville, like Dr. Seuss Grinch legs there. Yeah, look up a shoe, I guess, when you're doing your portfolio, because that's what I should have done, evidently. So, yeah, she walks through, and then instead of walking off, she transforms into this window guy. The window gets put down. This I kind of still like. I think this is still cute. The bird sees himself and then hugs the window, and they pick it back up, and he's all alone again. I thought that was a cute idea. I still think there's something there, some kind of merit. Maybe a whole short around a parrot becoming best friends with a mirror, and then it gets taken away. That's a better idea. Don't steal that. I'll do that someday. Looks around, and boom, the girl opens the door. You can't tell it's the same girl, but no, it was. He gets mad because he wants his mirror back. Flies out. Again, too much bloom. I should have focused more on the background characters having arms than the bloom. Gotta pick your battles there. Flies. Oh, more than one panel per scene. Please, please, Daniel. And put some effort into the background characters a little bit. And then he hits a sign. Flies down, breaks the window. Stern looks on their faces, huh? Expressive. They don't give a shit about that mirror. Sad, he gets up, mirror's all broken. This is a cool idea. I'd probably have him more in the middle of the shot instead of kind of down below like I have him. All of a sudden a hand comes from off screen. He looks up. Who is it but that girl from before? She wanted to buy him the whole time, and now he's a friend. Heartwarming idea. Cuts back to him. And I think I was afraid of drawing new scenes, so I just kind of reused the scene before. Because if it was now, I would do a head-on shot of him with the hand in the foreground, but I didn't do that, kind of like mirroring this. So, I mean, interesting choice I did there, and I think that's it. I think that's how it ends, just him smiling. And you know what? Like, I, again, get why I didn't get selected for this. There's a lot of issues here. A lot of wrong priorities put in weird places, like toning being a big factor. I don't know where I got the idea that that's what makes a good board. Maybe I did it at my revisionist internship. I think they liked it when I cleaned stuff up, so I decided that's the route I was gonna take. And you know, I don't think it got me that far because I don't think this portfolio piece got me anywhere, but it was a good learning experience. I learned to not tone like this ever again because waste of time. I think I didn't sleep. I think I pulled an all-nighter for this, which honestly, looking at it now, it's like 50 panels. It definitely was not necessary. Like, this is like a work days of work. So yeah, I would definitely do a lot of changes to this one. A lot of this stuff has been kind of flat and like staged really flat so far, which I know you can do a lot for comedy, but a lot of this stuff is more cinematic. I don't think I really learned that until I started looking at other people's portfolios who are in feature. And I think the one that got me the position, I kind of did focus a lot more on that cinematic storytelling aspect of it and camera moves and like creative shots and less on like rendering and cute expressions and stuff. So I mean, it's all important, but pick your battles, you know. And finally, we have the portfolio that got me my job at DreamWorks. This was a story portfolio I did in 2017, a year after I started working, more like 8 months or something. And this was after CTN, and this was after I had told myself I was gonna make it to a feature story position no matter what. I would just grind until I made it. And luckily for me, this portfolio happened to be enough. And at the time, I was looking at all kinds of artists from like Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, Sony, just like a plethora of various feature story artists that were doing stuff that I admired. And so I based a lot of my drawings and how I was boarding off those, which now my style is a bit more my own. But at the time, I was really working hard to try to make myself look like a feature story artist. And while I was doing this story portfolio, at the same time, I was also posting on Instagram daily. And I don't really know if that helped, but honestly, just drawing every day helped me a ton. You know, I got to post and get people's feedback and share my work, and that was really validating and fun. And I recommend everyone do that, even outside of making connections, which I don't know if I did, but it was cool having the chance of people seeing my work, which before my work was all hidden away on hard drives and no one could see it ever. So post online, because at least people might see your work and might get inspired by it, want to work with you, etc., if you care about that. If not, you know, who cares? There's a lot of amazing artists who don't post online. So let's take a look at these. And right from the get-go, you can see that while I still rendered a lot, I kind of thought of it more smartly, thought of like the middle ground, foreground, background more than I just thought to render a nice panel. Like clearly I cared more about the mood and setting a tone rather than just making a pretty looking window, which I did before. So we start on this barbecue, kind of go in, there's this girl who runs by, and she's not really important to the story, but I just kind of wanted to like show off me drawing human characters, which I don't really have any adults really, or even kids. I just have like a dog and a baby, so I kind of wanted to show off how I could draw humans, which I mean I kind of did. I think, you know, it's not as good as what I would do now, but you know, it's a good way to show off drawing chops, especially in like a quick little establishing shot that doesn't really matter. You know, we go on, we see this dog, someone pets him, closes the door, you know, he's all alone. And then I did a little title card, which I saw a lot of people do, and I don't know if it's necessary, but I thought it was a cute little touch. You know, I'm still happy with that title card. You know, it cuts in the babysitter, right? I think that's kind of cute. I don't mind that. And then we kind of walk off, and then we get into our story. So all those 3 pages were just just establishing shots, like just getting into her story, which before I never really did. I just had a single shot of like a medium shot or maybe a single wide shot. But now I'm thinking about pacing and how to like not just rush into a story, but really set the tone of a story, which I think I did pretty well here. And then we go inside. You know, I would lower this horizon line a little bit. You know, it's a touch high. I would lower it a skosh, maybe to get a nicer silhouette on the dog. Comes and sits. He's all sad and tired. You see a ball go in. I think this was pretty good. I think all this stuff still kind of holds up. I think for me, a big thing I personally don't like about this is I know that I took too long on these drawings and I spent so long trying to make them look gestural because I thought that that's what people wanted to see, which they kind of do, but it's not as genuine of a gestural drawing as like if someone did it quick. And this level of drawing, at least how I did it when I was doing it, wasn't feasible for like an actual job. Like you can't spend 20-30 minutes on a pose getting it to look just messy enough to look good, which I think I did. I think now I would care a lot less about it being on model and care a lot more about the gesture and feeling and weight of a pose. So we see there's like a crib there, a baby hops out. And again, I would do a flip through version. Don't do this paneled stuff. I don't know what I was thinking. At the time, I thought it was smart. You know, everyone was doing this because I guess it's kind of like, it's not that long ago, it was 2017, but I was kind of stuck in the past a little bit. So I'm glad they didn't hold this against me because this is what I gave DreamWorks. You know, the baby rolls over, starts crying, dog goes to investigate, dog surrounds him. I still like that business of the dog going around, licking his face. Thought that was cute. I was drawing very Disney-ish, so I think I was inspired by a lot of Disney artists. Baby falls over, takes a ball, throws it. And here I was experimenting with camera moves and not just cutting, which I think I never really did before. This was the first time I really thought about tracking an object with a camera instead of what a normal instinct would just be to cut to the new scene. So I'm glad I started playing around with that. I think this is like the first time I'm actually playing around with storytelling. You know, a POV shot. Also, I thought I was a genius. POV shot. Drawing this couch again scared me. I was used to drawing couches once and now I had to draw it twice. Cut over, the baby goes on a Roomba. I would probably show the Roomba a little bit better. I think I wasn't super clear about the Roomba before. And the baby smashes on the on button because that's how Roombas work, right? You press on and they go flying. The dog sees the baby's happy. Baby's going all the way around, but then, boom, fire pit. The dog, obviously terrified, leaps off screen, jumps in front of the baby. Boy, do you know it, the baby leaps over him, lands perfectly on the other side, and waiting for death. But he turns last second, miraculously. The dog almost dies. Dog follows him, the baby goes underneath, and then all of a sudden, the Roomba comes out, and the baby's gone. Looks over. So here he reacts, and then he walks gently over and stops here, which, looking at it again, is a little weird. I would have had him just run off screen here. Oh, the baby's again trying to kill himself with fire. He opens the oven. You know what? I blame the parents. These are irresponsible parents. This baby wants to die. So the baby's opening up this oven. He should be burned here already, but hey, that's neither here nor there. The dog saves him. Kind of crossed the 180, but I guess it's fine. Closes the oven because he's a good boy. Walk over, puts him on the couch, and poor dog, tired of doing his job. The baby, like the little ass he is, falls on the dog's face. Dog steps back into a toy, gets sat in it, and then they ride around. I like this little business of the baby climbing his head. I think that was cute. I know it took me forever just remembering it. I know it was 7 years ago, but I remember this took me a long time. And for 5 panels, it shouldn't have. He's heading towards the door. This lady opens it. I'm glad I got better at drawing people opening doors because that parrot board, it was a little rough. And the dog and baby go shooting out. Here they are flying in the air. The dog catches the baby midair, tucks in, lands. The dog looks down. The baby's revealed. Oh, look at it, the baby's fine. And they hug and everything's perfect because it's an animated cartoon thing. So yeah, that was the storyboard that got me into DreamWorks animation. And you know what? I see a lot of good things here. I think I improved a lot in the year between the parrot one and this dog one. And I think maybe they saw that and saw the potential I had to improve and to get better at storytelling. And they probably saw that I liked drawing and I liked posing and I liked doing, you know, cute little character stuff, which always is good in feature animation or even TV really. So I do see why they chose me for the story trainee program based off this board. Obviously I have a lot of issues with it now, and if I was to do it again, I would do it much differently. You know, maybe I'll draw the characters different, but as it stands, I think it's cute, and I think I would keep a lot of it too. Like if this was in a movie, I wouldn't change all of it. I would change a lot of it, but not all of it. You know, I would do maybe less medium shots. I would maybe push the antics a little further. Maybe this truck goes way crazier, maybe through the barbecue, you know, maybe hot coals fly in the air. It's crazy stuff, you know, stuff that I was kind of too scared to try back then. But hey, you know, that was then, and it gave me my foot in the door, and I've changed a lot as an artist since then, and I wouldn't be where I am now without this guy back then, or, you know, the parrot boards or the bloody nose boards. It all was a journey to get here, so I'm happy I could share that with you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'm glad I could share even a little bit of my journey and show you guys the portfolios that I did throughout the years. Hopefully it helped you guys out even just a little bit, and that you could learn a little bit about storyboarding through my mistakes and through my journey. And you know, my journey doesn't end here. I'm gonna keep improving as an artist, and one day I'm gonna look back at all the stuff I'm doing now and critique it just as harshly as I did all this stuff. And you know, everyone's gonna do that. And really the only thing I'm looking at is how much I've changed as an artist, how much I've improved in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 7 years even. I'm only competing against myself and only trying to become the best version of myself I can be. So, you know, look back at what you did a year ago, and did you get better? Are you happy with your progress? Because if so, that's the only thing that matters. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you want to see next. Bye.